I remember a time in 1937. I was just a little girl. I was looking out the window and I saw a man. And I saw him for about 12 seconds. And during that 12 seconds, I just couldn't believe what I was looking at. This was the most beautiful man I've ever seen in my life. His eyes locked mine. And we, for some reason, without speaking any words, knew everything about each other. The man, his name was Robert. I walked outside my porch, and I said, Robert? And he said, Barbara, is that you? And I said, yes, but we've never met. It was a connection I cannot explain, only then I was struck by Cupid's love arrow. He had me in his arms. He whispered sweet nothings into my ears, and he caressed my buttocks, and it was so good. And I said, how about you come inside, young Robert, and have a delicious Fruitsmack? And he said, what is that? And I said, a Fruitsmack. It's a blood orange creamsicle beer. And then we sat down and we watched Murder, She Wrote. Yes, in 1937, somehow I had access to television. And Murder, She Wrote. Don't ask questions. I'm a magical lady. This is Dudes with Brews on a Porch.
It was The Bicycle Thief. Cue that intro.
You're about to hear the greatest show of your life. Dudes with Brews on a porch with Rob and Drew.
The Bicycle Thief. The one and only Rob.
Classic 1930s Italian.
Classic, yeah. You know,
timeless.
The timeless classic, The Bicycle Thief. A movie that majority of people haven't seen and never will, but somehow it's great.
It is great.
It's a good one. Glad to have you back.
Glad to be back.
I think you're one of the first official people to enter my house post-COVID, at least for me. COVID testing for me.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, yeah. Congratulations.
Honored. I feel honored.
Yeah, everything's good now. Everyone in the house is cleared.
That's good.
And it's been cleared for a couple weeks now. So we're good.
Yeah.
We made it through. We're still masking up, though, just to be safe. Rob, let's get to it, shall we?
Let's do it.
We are drinking Fruitsmack, a blood orange creamsicle from Lupulin Brewing Company, which I love Lupulin. Lupulin's from Big Lake, Minnesota, but they're very, very good. Another hot, boring summer day with nothing to do. Wait, did you just hear that music, Rob? Do you hear it? Listen closely. Could be Pink Floyd. Ice Cream Truck Fruitsmack Blood Orange Creamsicle is the latest of their fruited IPA series, and you'll want to get this one before the neighbors buy it all. We use an absurd amount of blood orange and vanilla to bring you back to the good old days of begging mom and dad for ice cream money. Did you do that? Did you beg mom and dad for some ice cream money when the ice cream truck was...
I'm sure I had
ding,
to have.
ding, 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 or whatever they did. Do those exist anymore?
I see that Kona truck more than anything.
Okay.
Which is the snow cone truck. But
good.
I haven't seen that in a while either.
I haven't seen... I honestly could not tell you the last time I saw...
An actual ice cream truck.
Right.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time since I was just a wee lad.
I think in this day and age, anything that attracts children to your vehicle is like outlawed.
The struggle was real. Hopefully you've earned your allowance for this tasty orange dream. What the fuck is that?
It's noon here.
Oh, it's noon. It's a siren. You're right. It is noon. Rob, it's I'm going to let you guess. How much ABV do you think is provided by the Fruitsmack Blood Orange Creamsicle by Lupulin Brewing in Big Lake, Minnesota? Take a guess. Just look at it. Describe what you see.
I'm going to go with, just because of its opaqueness, I'm going to say 7.4.
You're very close. 6.5.
I almost said 6.8 too.
And IBUs, what do you think? What you think looking at that?
Can I taste it?
Describe, taste it. Describe what you're looking at.
It's a very cloudy, It's a very cloudy, deep orange, like a burnt orange.
Yeah, you're right.
It looks really good. It looks like it's like a milkshake brew. Actually, it just looks a little thick. And I'm gonna take a sip of it. It smells good.
That's good. That's good. That's smooth, bud.
And
A little bitter.
Bitterness, yeah. I don't even know what the high end of the IBU scale is, but I'm gonna go with 24.
24? 50.
All right.
Not too bad. Not too bad. Rob, we're joined by the porch pooch, Phil. He's rolling on the carpet.
Yeah, he is. I found a dog today.
Like just found it, or like one that you want to get?
No, like a dog that was just rolled up, and
Rolled up?
I like walked up to me,
Yeah.
and I thought like I was at Trevor's. I was letting Trevor's dogs out, and I
Yeah.
was leaving, and all of a sudden there's this dog, and I didn't know. I was like, well, maybe it's the neighbor's dog or something, so I didn't want to like pick it up, but I got down and got close enough to see the name on the name tag and the address, and then like I went to go see what Trevor's address was because I was like, well, maybe this is the neighbor's dog. I don't know what Trevor's address is, but it was not anywhere near where Trevor's house was, and then the dog disappeared by the time I got back to it from checking the address.
Shoot.
And I spent an hour trying to track down the owner of the dog, trying to find the dog, letting people in the neighborhood know that there's a dog that is lost.
You really went out of your way.
I've lost a dog before. It's not fun.
And that just shows how much of a good person you are. Yeah, I remember that when you lost, or you didn't lose.
Milton ran away.
Milton ran away. And most likely,
It's the name of my poetry book.
somebody has Milton.
Yeah, I
Would
believe
be
so.
my guess.
Yeah, me too.
So I like that option better than the other one.
First time they like take him to a vet and he gets scanned though. Well, now I don't have the same phone number or email address, so there's really nothing unless I keep in touch with, which I stopped doing a while ago. I mean, it's been a while now.
Yeah.
But
It's always sad. Yeah.
But either way, yeah. So that was what I did this morning.
But this beer is good.
This beer is good.
It's delicious. Does it
It's a
taste
good-
like, it doesn't, I don't know if it tastes necessarily like a blood orange creamsicle, but
I'm not getting that either, but
it's good. I like it. I like it a lot. Robert, I went on.
I think I get the orange more than the creamsicle.
for sure.
Like the vanilla is not prevalent.
That just adds to the orangey flavor.
Could be, yeah.
Very well could be. So yeah, life is kind of back to normal, I guess.
It's getting there. It's getting there. People are trying, I guess. I don't know.
Well, there's a mask mandate in the state of Wisconsin, and literally nobody is doing anything about it.
I've seen
As
more
far as
people
wearing
masks,
masks.
but I did go and get a coffee this morning, and I was sporting my Dudes with Brews mask.
Good work.
I will say this: having that mask makes me like. With my other masks, I would forget them sometimes, and I'd be like, do I want to walk back to the car, or should I just quick run in here, or whatever? Like, it always made me think for a second.
Yeah.
Like whether or not I wanted to take the effort, but now I'm like, I got to get that mask. I got to get that mask on. I got to get the word out there. I gotta have the Dudes with Brews logo on my face.
That's what you should do. You should
in my
add that to
pocket
your
right now.
Add that to your dating profile. Not all, like I mask up and like I
Yeah,
also,
that's a good. Yeah,
I mask up.
I have not really done much with the dating profile.
You should say I have no problems adding protection to my body.
I'm pro PPE.
And it's see where that brings you. Phil approves. Phil approves of the PPE. Wow.
I don't know what Phil's problem is.
I don't know.
right
He's Phil, get out of here. Go.
now. Go on, bud.
Go.
Go.
Go, Phil. That's how he talks.
Yeah, it's a little grumpy.
Yeah, he's like a grumpy old man. I'm trying to get back to a little bit of normalcy. Rob, I started running again a little bit here and there. I've ran 3 times in the last week.
Cool.
So last Saturday and Sunday, and then today. I'm going to go tomorrow again. Trying to shed that quarantine 15. That's all I did in quarantine, man. Eat. It's literally all I did. I just, out of boredom, would stand up, walk to the fridge, and shove food down my mouth. I would just take spoonfuls spoonfuls
Spoonfuls. That's the proper nomenclature.
of, I would take a spoonful of peanut butter, just eat it.
Awesome.
Just like fucking dig in there and
Peanut butter's good.
I do like peanut butter. It is good. Didn't they used to make like Skippy, like Go-Gurt peanut butter type
I don't
things?
know. I wouldn't have eaten that.
Why not? You don't like Skippy?
I got no problem with Skippy.
Then why wouldn't you have eaten that? You'd rather
Yogurt peanut
No,
butter?
it was like in a tube of a Go-Gurt, but it's just peanut butter.
yeah, they did do that.
And you wouldn't eat that?
No, I would eat that. I thought you meant it was like a mashup of yogurt and peanut
That'd
butter.
be disgusting.
It's like, you ever see those peanut butter and jelly mashups where it's peanut butter and jelly in the same jar
Yeah.
in layers?
Goober.
Yeah,
It's called Goober.
I'll put my peanut butter and jelly together myself. Thank you.
What combinations would you want to have? Like, would you want like like you said, the peanut butter and the jelly. What combinations that go well together do you not want packaged together? What if they made and they might a ketchup and mustard mix?
Oh, they do.
Do they really?
Yeah, and
It's already made. Damn.
yeah, I don't like that either. But I'm not a mustard guy, really.
No, you don't like mustard? I never was a mustard guy.
I get into it sometimes. Sometimes I like it. Sometimes I don't.
You get into it
Yeah, I
sometimes?
get into it with mustard. I don't eat it. I just argue with it.
Honey mustard, my favorite.
Yeah, I like top shelf mustard.
Yeah, the
I
real
don't
deal.
I don't go lowbrow when it comes
Yeah,
to
fuck
mustard.
that yellow shit.
Yeah.
It's all about I like a little spicy brown, a little bit. Also, oddly enough, my stripper name.
Yeah.
Spicy brown. I have a little tan to me. Yeah. Honey mustard is good.
How do you feel about foods that should be one color but are a different color? Like green ketchup. Did you ever get into that?
Yeah, I've had green ketchup. Tastes like regular ketchup.
Yeah, it's the same, but
Just-
sometimes,
just green.
It's like visual and other senses change things. Like
I think they made a purple ketchup at one time.
probably.
Did you remember like when they made it was sunscreen and they made it purple? They made it purple, like, and then it was like directed to kids to put sunscreen on. It was like fun and stuff. Purple sunscreen. I remember that was like the
Yeah,
shit back in the day.
I think I saw blue stuff at one point.
Maybe it was blue. I don't know. Something
I think
like
there was
that.
purple too. Yeah, anything they
What-
can do to make people buy things.
What would you? So what's something that you don't like, but if they changed the color, you would try?
That's a good question, but I can't think of anything really off the top of my head that when I see the color of it turns me off.
I would eat a
too.
blue tomato.
Yeah?
I'd give it a shot. Tomatoes are disgusting.
You'd bite into it like an apple? Or you'd put it on a
I don't know,
burger?
man. If it's cooked, it's okay. It's better. But like raw tomatoes, just ugh. Like cherry tomatoes are so gross. It's so gooey and just nasty. I don't
So
like.
that's a texture thing. Like,
Yeah.
What about the taste? Do you like the taste?
Not really.
See, then okay, you just don't like it. That's cool.
It's disgusting.
I don't. That's something where it's like I think the color of it wouldn't change whether or not I ate it. I don't know. It's more paste and gelatinous foods that it bothers me with for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you engineered a tomato to be blue, I'd still eat it.
Yeah.
That's just I don't see why I'd have a problem with that. But at the same time, like I don't know. This is very American of me to have this issue, but
Well, you are American.
I have a weird thing with burgers or sandwiches, eating the last bite. Like I won't eat the last bite.
Why?
I don't know. I've asked myself that question quite a bit. Like even if I'm still hungry,
Fuck. You won't eat the last bite of a burger?
like that.
You won't just pop it in your mouth and chew on it?
I mean, sometimes I do, but more often than not, yeah, I leave that.
Why?
I have no idea. I really cannot tell you. I've thought about this a lot.
Because your first bite when it comes to like a burger is 100% random. It's not like you're picking like
It's
the
nothing
good
about
end and eating the bad.
like the amount of time that the burger's been in the air. I seriously have been in a position where it's like I'm still hungry and there's that last bite and I've been like, why just eat it? And I can't. It's like there's like a block to me, like where
Have you talked to your therapist about this?
I haven't. I should though.
I think you should bring it up. I think next session,
I'll
say,
put
hey,
it up.
table whatever other important things we were talking about. Let's talk about. Let's really get down to the nitty gritty about this burger situation I'm in.
Yeah, it's
Really? Is that with sandwiches too?
yeah.
What the fuck?
It's super.
What about hot dogs?
Hot dogs, not so much, but I've definitely gone that route with like brats and stuff where it's like I still
Really?
leave the last little nut. Like, there's times where like there was a while where I wouldn't even eat the. I don't know if it had something to do with the ends, but like even like anything that's like a hot dog shaped or taco shaped, eat the middle of it and leave the U. Like leave a U. I don't.
What?
I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
That's not even a convenient way to eat
No,
it.
it's not at all. I know.
Do you do that with burritos?
I've definitely done it with burritos, but it's not something
That's super messy.
it's not something that that's not something that I think I have like a tick with. It's just like, if I feel like the burrito, like, cause sometimes the end of a burrito is the best part, the tortilla, like, where
All the burritos the best part.
where the
I love them.
but where the fold over is,
Yeah,
and
those are
you get
good.
extra tortilla there.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
sometimes that's the best, but other times it's like, if they did something like I think that comes more down to if it's like a hard tortilla shell, like, and I don't want to, like, it seems stale or something. I don't know. But one thing I will say, I've noticed. I don't know. Never mind. I lost my train of thought. What was that noise? What was that noise?
I didn't hear a noise.
Oh, I think your phone just went off.
Oh, did it? Yeah, perhaps. I'm just trying to understand your weird eating habits. My eating habits, my weird eating habits is that I just don't stop. Yours is that you have to make letters and you stop at the end.
I've gotten better with this over time, but back like you know, through my 20s, I really had like this thing where I would not eat the last bite.
When was the first time you noticed it?
It had to have been like 10 years ago that I've noticed it pretty, or like, I guess I don't know when it started because I if you don't notice, you don't notice. But there was, I feel like it's something it was just, I don't know why I feel like that last bite is like, there's something wrong with it. It's not going to taste as good as the rest. It's not like it's not worth it or something. I don't know. Like I said, it's a very American like problem to have where you just like, I'm just not going to eat that because of my brain told me it's not good.
In some countries, that's proper etiquette. You don't finish the food.
Really?
Yeah, because it's insulting to the chef, saying that you didn't cook enough. You didn't provide enough food for the meal, so you always leave a little bit.
So really,
maybe you're cultured.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe
You just didn't know it.
deep in my DNA, I'm from like Prussia or something.
Russia?
I don't know. It was the first thing that came to my head.
Yeah. I found out through my dad's 23andMe thing that I'm Southeast Asian.
Nice. I
Yeah,
see that.
Yeah, me too. I like it.
Yeah.
I don't know how
I
much.
don't see it. I'm
don't know
really
what-
bad at that kind of stuff.
I don't know what percentage of Southeast Asian I would be. But it's there.
Heck yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm so hairy.
So Southeast Asia. That's not something that's indicative of Southeast Asians, is it?
Mm-hmm.
They're hairy?
I think.
Isn't Southeast Asia China?
No.
Philippines?
It's like Middle Eastern.
That's South.
That's in Asia. I'm pretty sure.
Do they go by?
They go by Southeast Asian. Yeah, like India.
Yeah, but Southeast, like if you're standing in Asia, East is China and then West is.
Southeast.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
Down in
China takes up
down
the-
and right.
China takes up the entire southeastern corner of the of the continent.
Are you sure?
No.
I'm really not. I really don't know much.
But But if you're talking like Korea and Vietnam, are those close to each other? Man, I'm bad with geography. I think we've already established this, but I really think China is like the southeastern area.
Indonesia, Thailand, Singapore, Vietnam, Malaysia, Philippines. You got that right. Cambodia, Laos. Did I say India? I think that is.
Did you just look up Southeast Asia?
Yeah. Yeah, India's on there.
See, China.
That's like sure. Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm sorry.
I thought China was bigger than that.
But I think mine's more like in the
Laotian area?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or Indian.
This is interesting. Because that's something that I don't think I've ever seen like a Southeast Asian person with like a beard.
Oh, really? Well, I mean, I'm not like primarily.
I know. I'm just saying,
percentage.
Because I don't see Southeast Asian people naked ever. So I have to go by how hairy they are, by if they have a beard.
I'm pretty sure Germans are. I'm predominantly German and very hairy.
Yeah, but I just think I thought it was weird that you're.
I was generalizing.
It has to do with I'm a hairy person, and that's I think like I just don't associate Southeast Asians with hair. Except for the fact that they have that amazing hair on their head that's like thinner, but it looks awesome all the time.
I guess.
I don't know.
This is
We're walking a line of
I'm not trying to generalize. I don't know anything about it. It's
racial.
anything.
I don't think that we're being racist.
No,
by talking about this.
We're ignorant.
We are different. People are different, and it's okay to acknowledge that.
Well, we're just being ignorant.
I'm
I
not
don't know
saying
what...
I hate Southeast Asian people because their hair is different. I wouldn't say that because I don't. But I also don't like them more because of it either.
Okay.
So now it's racial. It's not racist.
I would never take a 23andMe test, I don't think, or an ancestry test.
I've got one for my stepdad, which does absolutely nothing for me.
Yeah, but like if you I mean, because obviously there's more than what my dad's results are because I have my mom. Like if my mom took one, my dad took one, I can go a little half-seas on those.
Couldn't you scam the system a little bit by instead of getting one for your mom and your dad, just get one for yourself?
That's the point. I don't want to take one for myself.
You don't have to.
What do you mean? Oh. Huh?
You don't have to take one.
Yeah, but I'm interested to know my genetics.
Why don't you want to take one of those tests?
Because then they have my DNA.
You think they don't have it already?
Do you think they do? I guess I got coronavirus.
I knew you when you were 20, man. You were spreading your DNA all over the place.
I was 20? You knew me before I was 20.
Yeah, but I knew you when you were 20 as well. And that's obviously it doesn't matter. I'm joking. But yeah, I know people that have that same thought. Like,
but like they really have it there. Like they got it.
What are you worried about them doing with it?
Cloning me.
Seriously?
And I don't have access to my clone. If they're gonna clone me, I want that little bastard in my possession.
I agree 100% with that. If somebody clones you, you have. I
feel like you have every right.
It's like intellectual property.
Yeah,
except
this is my clone.
Yeah. It's,
Do you think if they made a clone, an exact replica of your DNA, like they would be the exact same person, or do you think there could be an evil side to it? They sprinkle a little evil in there.
Like it's in a nature versus nurture, so it depends on if it was just raised in a lab or something. But
sure.
I guess. Right. My question would be: is if somebody made an exact clone of you and then killed you, has a crime been committed?
There's a Netflix show about that, kind of.
Oh yeah,
with Paul Rudd.
Oh,
I forget what it's called. It wasn't that great, but pretty much it's like they there's this thing that like promotes that like it'll make your like it just like drastically improves your life. Like you go in there, they do a thing, and your life is just instantly it's great. Turns out they clone you, and they make a better version of you, and then they kill you. But in this,
is that the one where it's like he runs into himself?
Well, this show, I'm giving away some spoilers, but they pretty much kill you and they bury you in this thing. He wakes up, he doesn't die, and he unburies himself, and then he goes home, and there he is. There his other person is.
Okay.
The better version.
So, okay, I just figured out like what the twist might be at the end of that then.
Take a guess. I'll tell you if you're right. Spoilers. I don't know what it's called. I forget.
I feel
It's a
like
Paul Rudd show on
I-
Netflix. Pause this if you want to watch it.
I feel like I remember the preview to this movie, and it was like Paul Rudd wakes up, walks downstairs, and sees Paul Rudd.
Yeah, that's it.
So, but based on like the preview, or probably what you think is like the Paul Rudd that wakes up is the real Paul Rudd, and he walks downstairs, and there's another Paul Rudd that comes that walks
Attacks him,
and he's just like, what the hell is going on with this or whatever, and you as the viewer, I'm guessing, think that the Paul Rudd that woke up in his bed is the real Paul Rudd, but in this twist at the end is that the real Paul Rudd is the intruder Paul Rudd.
No. You kind of establish who's who.
Oh, they do right away?
Yeah. It's like, I mean, it's in the first few episodes.
Well, then they fucked it up. Because I'm a Hollywood writer and I know.
It's in
because I have the experience, Drew, to have an opinion that matters.
Well, what happens is
I don't.
The wife bangs the clone, and then also bangs Paul Rudd, and she gets.
Has she committed adultery at this point?
She gets pregnant. How can you tell whose is who? Whose baby is it?
Does it matter?
Well, if the other one's going to continue to live, if one of them is going to continue to be around, how do you?
Genetically speaking, though, it doesn't matter who the father is.
Yeah, but who do you? How do you do that? How do you live with that?
What are you trying to live with? Whether or not the kid's yours or not?
Yeah,
and the kid is yours.
Yeah, but there's two of them. So who's gonna raise the kid? Does one get to just go do whatever?
I guess so, but technically it's both their kid because it's.
Do they both got to pay child support?
Because it genetically, yeah, well, if she leaves both of them.
Interesting, huh?
If she leaves one of them, doesn't she leave them both?
I don't know. I think it leaves you on the thing that she's preggers. I don't know that they're making a second season.
I just watched this movie Vivarium with Jesse Eisenberg.
Was it made in 1936?
No, 20. I've been watching some newer movies. I watched
2004.
2019.
Oh, okay.
I watched a movie and I believe Vivarium is 2020. And that's Jesse Eisenberg, right? That's the guy's name, right?
Jesse Eisenberg?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Really crazy movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually really good. It's like they go to look at a house that's in like a suburb. And then like the dude that shows them the house disappears and leaves them there, and then like they can't get out of the suburb, and all the houses look identical, and then all of a sudden a baby shows up, and it's like raise this kid, and I won't go any further than that, but it is like
where would you see it on?
It's on either Netflix or Hulu.
What's it called?
Vivarium.
It's
it's really good, but it made me like really like second like I really like I feel like it was kind of like in a bubble trying to like express what happens when you have a kid or when you like it got into some gender role type stuff and what happens to your relationship when you have a kid and I mean there was a lot that you can read into it if you want to. I mean you could read into it for the quarantine as well because they couldn't leave. Like anytime they walked in any direction they always ended up back at their house. At this house in the suburb, you know, like
yeah.
And then I watched. I didn't know this, but there was a sequel that to The Shining that came out in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually pretty good. It was all right.
Yeah,
I didn't mind it.
It's with like the kid, right?
Yeah,
he's adult now. An adult.
And I had to go back and rewatch.
Jack Nicholson in it?
Who?
Jack Nicholson?
No, there's a guy that they think looks like Jack Nicholson, but I don't think he does.
Why didn't they get him in it?
He's old now.
So. Isn't that the point?
Yeah, but he wasn't like they didn't want to show him because technically he died at the end of The Shining.
Oh yeah, he froze to death.
So he needed to be young Jack Nicholson. But that movie had like 3 different movies inside of it, like where it was like this, like the beginning was like this thing, and I was like, okay, well this isn't what I thought it was going to be, and then it was like, okay, is that going to be how this is going? And then it went into this whole other direction, and then I was like, all right, well this must be the end now. And then I was like, wait a minute, but they haven't gone back to the hotel yet, and I saw that in the preview, and then there's a whole nother hour left.
Jeez.
But it kept me engaged throughout the entire movie, and I was like, this movie doesn't seem. It seems like it shares some DNA with The Shining, but it doesn't seem like it's a Shining sequel. So I went back and watched The Shining.
Yeah.
And actually, it really does fit the bill for a Shining sequel. I just had all the parts that are story driven of The Shining are the things that you forget. Like you remember the imagery of The Shining. At least I have. Like you remember the hotel and the imagery of the twins and the blood and the axe and the here's Johnny. What I never remembered about that movie, even though I'd seen it many times. The part that always escapes me for whatever reason is what The Shining is, and that's this telepathic abilities. For whatever reason, like that part of the story just like completely vacated from my mind. So when I watched the sequel, I was like, "What the heck is this?"
Wouldn't it be weird if you had The Shining and then like someone like you had it, I knew you had it, but you didn't know I had it, and then one day I'm like, "What's up, motherfucker?" People just pop in and be like, "Oh, you in here too?" I don't know. It'd be funny.
It would be.
Just kind of
life changing.
Slither in a little bit. If you could live your life in one horror movie, what would it be? Like you're in that setting. Like that's your life. Is that horror movie? What would it be? So like odds are something weird is either happening to you or your friends, your family. Someone's getting murdered or paranormal shit's going on. Horror movie. You're living in it. What would it be?
Casper the Friendly Ghost.
That's not a horror movie.
Okay, that's just a paranormal movie.
It's got to be a horror movie.
I don't watch a lot of horror.
Casper seems like an annoying little asshole.
Yeah, but at least you don't have to.
Popping. He's kind of a pervert, you know. He is. Yeah. Because isn't there one time where he's just like
he wanted Wendy
creeping on Christina Ricci?
Yeah,
and he's. And the whole, all right, I'm going to go down a rabbit hole here, but the whole thing with like can I keep you? That is so fucking weird. It is fucking weird to put that in a kid's movie. Can I keep you? Like some slave? Like, what does that mean?
It means Casper deserved to die.
I'm going to swallow your soul.
Yeah.
I'm going to swallow your soul. And can I keep you? That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
What a weird phrase.
The fact that she didn't walk out on that.
She was sleeping when he said it.
She said it, which is even super. That's so much weirder.
He was watching. Cat.
I went down.
Can I keep you?
I went down a rabbit hole of documentaries about the psychology of stalkers.
Oh, really? That'd be interesting.
And
you didn't answer my question, but go ahead.
Well, I'll just say. That's like their mentality. Like that's something a stalker. That's straight. Casper was a stalker, so it should be Casper the Stalker Ghost.
Even though it's
can I keep
technically his house, but in a sense, is it really his property anymore?
Yeah, when he dies, he never owned it. He was a kid.
That's right.
Yeah,
he's got
his
sick,
parents,
right?
Yeah, you don't get.
Devin Sawa. He's in. That's Casper. Devin Sawa.
That's some straight up crazy deep trivia right there.
You didn't know that?
No.
You know who Devin Sawa is? You ever see Final Destination? The first one? He's the main guy. You ever see SLC Punk? He's the guy that like took too much acid and he's like forever tripping.
I haven't seen SLC.
You ever see Idle Hands?
Yeah.
He's the main guy. That's the guy that does Casper.
Idle Hands was a good movie.
Can I keep you? Idle Hands is a weird movie, but yeah, it's pretty funny.
Jessica Alba.
Right. She's in it.
Yep. Well, okay, so horror. Honestly, the weird thing is like, I can't think of like what horror movies I've seen. Like the Babadook. I've seen
the Babadook.
Yeah, or whatever.
That kid is really annoying in that movie.
I would definitely don't pick that. I've seen a lot of like I feel like ghost stuff, but I don't really watch a lot of. I try like if I'm gonna watch something paranormal, I tend to watch like documentary stuff.
Me too.
I almost would have to say The Shining, just because you get to live in an awesome hotel and there's a big maze and
sometimes you can make out with attractive looking ladies.
As long as after you start kissing, you close your eyes, you're good.
I would either.
Yeah, I want to hear your answer so I can piggyback off of it. Maybe it'll spark memories. Because I just watched a movie on Black Eyed Kid, like called They Come Knocking. It's called.
Yeah, we did an episode, A Strange Brew. That was one of the first ones.
Yeah. So I watched a movie called They Come Knocking. I think they kind of screwed up the whole mythology of it, but
don't let them in.
Yeah.
I would say either Halloween. Let's face it, Michael Myers never runs. He's slow. You can just run away.
I was afraid of that movie.
Dude, he's the greatest.
Friday the 13th, because then you only have like once a year that you have to worry.
Nightmare on Elm Street would be really bad.
Yeah,
because
screw
anytime
that.
you're sleeping. Yeah, I would say Halloween or I don't know, something that's like really like location specific, and then I just want to go there.
Yeah, that's like I remember when I was a kid, and I feel like a lot of people did this probably, but like the thing about Halloween, and I didn't see enough of it, but like
Haddonfield, that's right. Is that
but like
what it is?
but like I would do like with Friday the 13th. I was like my main thing was like, okay, it's not Friday the 13th, so I don't have to worry.
Is it on Friday the 13th that happens?
That's just what I told myself. For Leprechaun scared me as a kid.
Yeah,
and I was like, I'm not in Ireland. And so Leprechaun ain't coming to get me. Like, you make these weird like
rules.
yeah, like maybe Puppet Master would be an interesting one to take up residence in.
Yeah.
Like
I suppose, like, actually, you know what? I think I would choose Saw. I would live during Saw because I haven't really done anything bad enough to get myself put in one of those situations. Because he doesn't just pick random people; he picks people that, quote unquote, deserve.
I'm assuming
some
that
weird.
Okay, so you're actually saying you just live.
You live in the world.
We technically live in Saw already. Like
You're right.
there's weird.
Okay, all right. Let's.
I'm saying if you have to
Let's
live
be
in,
less
if
broad.
You have to live in the plot line,
Right, the
like,
plot line.
If you have to
Go
live
ahead.
within the boundaries of the movie.
That's what I mean. I guess.
Yeah, that's. I mean, what do you consider like vampires and zombies and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
you
Like,
could do that. I think Dawn of the Dead would be pretty cool, except for the running zombies. Like
yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you get into like Night of the Living Dead, those zombies only go like a mile an hour. Mm-hmm. That's just an inconvenience, mild inconvenience. That's like we already live in that world with people on their cell phones.
Wow,
You're
right.
Yeah. So it's a commentary.
blow my mind. It's
Otherwise,
a commentary before cell phones were even a thing.
I'm trying to think of a 1930s horror movie that I
That you watched.
yeah.
Well, the other day I was watching the French film from 1922.
Skigaragma.
It's called The Scat Man.
Yeah, it's the Scat Man Crothers.
He just doesn't stop scatting, and it's so annoying that it actually just causes you to just say
Whipple Drive. Yeah, it happened on Whipple Drive.
Whipple Drive.
Otherwise, like like. That is an interesting question. I wish I knew more movies off the top of my head, more scary movies. Like,
How about Scream?
fuck that movie.
What do you mean? You don't like those movies? They're good. They got like all the classic elements to them. That's like one of the last classic horror flicks like of modern time would be Scream. I think I could be completely wrong, but
I think
that's just what I say.
I think
It's my podcast, so my opinion is
okay.
right.
Is that how it works?
Yes.
That's how I got fired, and I'm out of here.
Oh yeah. Don't be too honest with me, Rob. You might be.
Yeah, right.
You might be on the cutting block.
Well, like I just watched a documentary last night about it was like a 2-hour documentary about 20 seconds of film, and it was
Really?
and it was really interesting. It was about the shower scene in Psycho.
Psycho.
Yeah,
They use Hershey's syrup.
yeah. Mm-hmm. But this literally broke it apart, cut by cut, frame by frame. And it was really super interesting. It's called like 3258 or something like
There's
that.
a podcast like that, and I think it's about Star Wars, I want to say, but they go minute by minute.
Might
They
have to
break
check it out,
down
yeah.
a minute of Star Wars every episode. You'll have like endless fucking.
Yeah. But
Episodes,
this was like 2 hours on 20 seconds of film, and it was it was super interesting. The entire documentary was that's definitely worth checking out. Because like there's so much to the thought process behind. Like, I think that like obviously that's got to be the difference between a great director and a mediocre director is like the thought that they put into the shots, but the thought that went into every single like every cut, every movement of the camera, it wasn't just like, okay, let's film this and we'll cut it together. However, it was planned out deeply, like before anything was even before they even had the cameras.
Yeah.
Like, and it really made me think differently about a lot of things. Like,
Well, say you're living in this, whatever situation you're living in, a serial killer is on your case.
Like Hannibal's a horror movie too, right?
Yeah,
And
that could be. Red Dragon.
Dracula.
Yeah, all those. Would you fight back or would you run? Fight or flight?
I don't know. That makes me think of that episode of Rick and Morty where you can run but you can't hide. Let's try hiding. He said, "Why would he tell us we can't hide?"
I haven't seen that one, but
yeah,
fair
it's
enough.
like it's a good one. But they're like, and then they hide, and it's just like a couple minutes of the thing that's chasing them going, "You can run, but you can't hide," and then it's looking and stuff, and it's like, can't hide, you can't, but you can't find them.
It really that's
yeah.
funny. That's funny.
But like horrors is just not my genre, like of movies. So
I think we need to make a side podcast or like a Dudes with Brews. Like we'll just do like mini episodes.
we tried this with Duchovny, and I would like to get back to that.
Moody.
I'm watching X-Files again now and again.
Moody's long gone, bro. And we could just do it with
We just got a new like the other day.
we could just do it with Dudes with Brews.
Yeah.
Like we could make
Well, I had suggested doing a movie like every once in a while, just doing
Movie reviews?
Yeah, like where we'll watch them, like because then I can get you to watch some of these old movies, and it might be.
I'll do that.
And if you want me to watch horror movies, I'll do that because I don't really watch horror movies.
All right.
But
A new segment. We can. Well, I mean, we can bring back my old radio segment called Drew Ruins the Movies.
yeah, I think that would be perfect for if you watch old movies because that's what you're gonna do.
Yeah, I look forward to it. We should do that. We can start with The Bicycle Thief.
All right, I'm down to watch that again.
You have to give me
anytime.
your info so I can watch it.
Yeah, that's fine. Otherwise, Zardoz is a great one.
What?
Zardoz.
Isn't that with like some like
That's Sean Connery. That's 70s. Like we can ease into the old
Zardoz?
Zardoz.
You can't even say the fucking name of the movie. What is that about? Zardoz?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Have we not talked about this on the podcast?
I don't know.
That's the movie where the stone head comes down in the beginning and says the gun is good because it shoots bullets, and the penis is evil because it shoots seed and creates life. The gun takes life, so it's good. And then like Sean Connery jumps in the stone's mouth and crosses a threshold and meets with his own god. The Zardoz is the god of these like tribal people.
What's so great about Sean Connery?
I never understood. It was because he was Bond, but really,
Unpopular opinion, not the best Bond.
who do you think's the best Bond?
Pierce.
All right, I was gonna say don't say Craig. Yeah, I'm with you there. I think Pierce Brosnan came in an era where it was like a pretty decent mesh between spy, classic Bond, and action
new
movie.
age.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
action. Craig is like Daniel Craig. It's all action.
I've never seen a Daniel Craig Bond movie.
I've seen it. I've seen Casino Royale, which the only thing that was good about it was the fact that I like movies about betting.
Tomorrow Never Dies is really good. That's a good Pierce movie. The World Is Not Enough, also very good.
I really liked all the Pierce.
I don't know that I
Brosnan.
ever saw Goldeneye, to be honest.
Goldeneye's good.
It's a good fucking video game.
Yeah, yep.
Like I played the shit out of it, but I don't know that I ever like actually watched the movie. Well, this is what we gotta do. Drew Ruins the Movies. A new Dudes with Brews segment. Or mini episodes. We'll do it. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I think that would be good. They have Gremlins listed as a horror movie.
Yeah, I guess Gremlins is technically a horror movie.
Okay, so
I'll live in that.
yeah, right. They also have Sleepy Hollow.
With
The
Johnny
Thing.
Depp.
The Thing would be interesting to live in.
Gremlins, going back to Gremlins.
Rocky
Like,
Horror Picture
could it
Show.
really be that difficult to just punt those little bastards like across the room? You just all you gotta do is like step on it.
Yeah.
That's over. Granted, yeah, there's a lot of them, but you just keep stepping.
What's a horror movie you wouldn't want to live in?
for sure, Nightmare on Elm Street. Hostel would be pretty intense. You ever see that movie?
Yeah.
Did you see both? Well, there's 3 of them. I've only seen the first 2. The second one, I don't like it. I like anything with like possession really creeps me out. Like I really don't like possession movies. I don't know why, because I'm not like really kind of like a believer in that kind of stuff, but it just really, really freaks me out. Excuse me. Yeah. Anything where like I'm like slowly getting tortured, I really would not enjoy.
Yeah.
Like that would be like kidnapping would be kind of rough for me. I don't know.
Yeah, that's I'm just looking up some horror movies, so I've like, because they've got It on here, they've got
It might be a little intense.
A Quiet Place.
A Quiet Place. All you have to do is be quiet. That's literally all you have to do is just shut up.
Yeah, that movie, that was a good movie.
I like the movie,
and it was
They're making a second one.
Yeah, I'm seeing that right now, actually.
Post Krasinski. Oh, I mean, well, he wrote it. He's not in it. Spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, Krasinski.
Have you seen A Quiet Place?
Yeah.
He wrote it. Did you know that?
Yeah. Yep. He directed it too, didn't he?
Yeah, and he starred in it. And spoiler, he dies in the end.
Yeah, you maybe should have paused a little bit between that spoiler.
It's been a while. I mean, it's been out for a couple of years.
What about what about those movies that are like where like Jeepers Creepers or the one where it's like the big rig truck driver is following the people? You ever see that one?
I did see that one.
So it's literally like people are just like
Is it Black Cadillac? You ever see that? That happened in Wisconsin, based on a true story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's called Black Cadillac. Straight up like stalker shit, like you were talking about before. I don't like it.
Yeah, that kind of stuff freaks me out. Like the idea of it's the horror of it is the fact that you have somebody like it's psychological.
You ever watch Hush? It's on Netflix.
No.
100% watch it. It's a really good movie, and I think you actually physically see like 4 or 5 people in the movie only, and it's pretty much it's an author. She had some medical condition where she's now deaf, and I believe mute, but a dude there's just a random ass guy looking to kills people, shows up. That's it. Like no relationship between the two or nothing. Just a random stranger. They're out there and he's looking to kill her.
See that like
it's wild.
Like I guess the idea of like imagine like going blind.
Yeah.
And you just like you wake up blind in a room filled with whatever, like everything you're feeling feels disgusting. Like let's just say it's a room of mutilated corpses.
Oh yeah, you're in one of those, huh?
And whispering it like, and you just hear a whisper saying, "You've got 30 seconds, and I'm gonna kill you. Go."
I just count down, I guess.
And then what do you?
This is the end.
But then they never come to kill you. It's just literally you. Every once in a while, you you hear a whisper saying, "I'm coming." But you can't see anything. Like to me that's fucking hell.
Turns out it's just your parrot. I'm coming.
Yeah, it's you just your videotape of Casper, the friendly ghost, is skipping at the spot where I'm gonna keep you.
That definitely could be it. Such a weird fucking thing to say to somebody. Can I keep you?
Well, that's okay. So I was watching this thing on stalkers and I don't even know. The reason I went down this rabbit hole is you're going to laugh at this. You're going to laugh at me for this.
Do that.
I know. There's like there's a Tarkovsky film from like the early, like somewhere between the 30s and 50s Russian movie called Stalker. And I was trying to find it. And
is it all subtitled? It's got to be.
I don't think there's much talk in it because I have to rent it and I haven't rented it yet.
You have to rent it?
Yeah, it's not even on film.
It's not public domain not anymore at this point?
Those old movies, they're not just accessible. You got to either buy an app for them or buy a channel or rent them, but
there's a reason for that.
Because they're great.
No one gives a shit.
Because they have value.
Yeah. So much.
But either way, that
99 cents in the app store.
It was actually $4.
$4 for a Russian movie called Stalker?
Yeah, but it's supposed to be really good. Directing wise,
I guess you're just more well-rounded than I.
No, that doesn't mean anything. It just means you're never gonna get me off board with these older movies that because these are the movies that the foundation of movies are built on.
Are they?
Yeah,
maybe like Citizen Kane.
But even Hitchcock.
I've never seen that.
Just from watching that documentary about the shower scene in the things that he did in that scene, some of them they came from other movies. They were homages to things that had already been done. And Hitchcock really did figure out a lot of because I used to watch this there's this doc series on Turner Classic Movies about film, and it was it took a while for them to realize that you didn't just have to put on a play and then film it. At one point somebody figured out, hey, if I have a character walk to the right-hand side of the screen and then I cut to them coming from the left-hand side of the screen, it appears as though they're moving forward. We take all that for granted as if it was just understood that when you cut, but at first they thought that was going to be so disorientating to people that they didn't know there was always a first person to go, hey, if I do a quick 3-cut zoom in, it'll appear as though I'm focusing on something.
Yeah.
Or if I cut from their eyes to a shot of the back of their head and a view of the room, it'll simulate this is what they see, or a shot of the back of their head to their eyes to what they're looking at. It's instead of it being super disorientating, or disorient. I don't even know how to say that word. It doesn't matter. Instead of messing up the audience, they will understand that what you're trying to say is the main character was looking at this. So that all had to be figured out. And Hitchcock did pioneer that a lot of those things. But some of the best movies that we can think of are just homages to these things. Like they said in Raging Bull, the fight scene in Raging Bull is literally a shot-for-shot copy of the shower scene from Psycho. And when you look at it side by side, it's identical. And I've seen other situations where that's the same thing, where it's when you line these things up, this director took the what's it called? They basically just did a shot-for-shot remake of something else, just with their characters and their settings. So it's these movies that I'm talking about, they're the foundation that the movies that we like are built on. And so that's what's good. That's why I'm interested in it.
Where does the Bicycle Thief come in?
The Bicycle Thief, one of the biggest things that the Bicycle Thief did was
steal a bike.
Oh, yeah, he did. Very nice. Walked into that. But instead of having close up, zoomed in shots where you focus on the main character, it would do a lot of wide angle things where the character was just one of many people in the shot, and you had to decide if you wanted to focus on that person. And the idea being, this person is just one person, one story in a city filled with people. Who's going through a chaotic day, but in these shots, you don't even have to choose to look at that person. And as he's walking through frames, and his kid is following him, he's not even paying attention to his kid. His kid falls down in the street, and
he's got a kid.
Yeah, his kid's following him throughout the entire movie, but he doesn't give a shit
because he's looking for a bike.
Because he's looking for the thing that's going to feed his kid.
So he's a horrible parent.
No, he's a good parent.
Obviously not. He's not paying attention to his kid.
Yeah, but if he pays attention to his kid, he might not find his bike, and then his kid
I gotta
dies.
find the bike. Little Mikey, go out to the sidewalk. Look
You
for
can
the
do this
bicycle.
all you want, but we're gonna watch it and you'll see. It's a good movie.
Oh, how am I going to get to places, little Mikey?
Did I tell you about?
If only they had these things called legs where we could walk instead of riding my bike.
He needs a bike for his job.
Mamma mia. I'm a delivery man.
Did I ever talk about Simon of the Desert or Simon in the Desert?
I don't think so.
That was a movie that was in Spanish that I didn't know that there were subtitles for it, so I watched it like 3 times in Spanish.
Oh, really?
It's like
trying to get to it?
No, it
understand?
sucks me in every time. Doesn't matter that I don't know what they're saying.
Really?
And it's just a dude that's standing on a pillar so he can be closer to God, and the devil is trying to coax him off the pillar. That's the movie. But for some reason, it's very intriguing to me. It is a
That's
good movie.
the movie?
Yeah.
Is it just one shot the whole time?
No,
the pillar?
they cut around, but the main character is always standing on the pillar.
You should watch Buried. Because that's
Oh, I
pretty
just saw that. That's a movie I would not
much
like that or Awake.
Oh, Awake would be
I would
horrible.
not be in those 2 movies for sure.
Buried, there's literally one person in the entire movie that you see on screen. Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, he did Awake too, didn't he?
Did he?
Or was it
don't think
the
he
other guy
did.
that looks like him, Ryan Phillippe?
I have no idea.
Have you seen Awake?
I think so.
That's the one where he's awake through his
Surgery? Aren't they trying to kill him?
Yeah, that is what ends up happening, which, whatever.
He dies?
No, I don't know if he dies at the end or not. But I do know that like that was irrelevant to me. The scary part of that was I guarantee like I will never go into a surgery without thinking of that movie.
Well, that's comforting.
And the buried alive, like I'm assuming that he gets buried alive and buried,
Yeah.
and that's
And the whole movie is him trying to get out.
that's horrifying.
I don't know what happens at the end.
He gets out. No, he dies. Mm-hmm. See, that's good. That's like these old movies that I'm talking about. They don't have happy endings because that's not how life is.
Yeah.
So
For some people, it is.
for some people they get it, but it's like
Are you going to have a happy ending?
I hope so. That's up to you.
Well, if you would tip more on your massages, maybe you'd get one.
I'm just a little shy in cash. How's my credit in this joint? So I don't know. This is it.
What do you think happens when we die?
Me personally,
Yeah.
I think we live in a moment forever.
I like that.
So
Unless
like,
it's a bad moment, then that would be.
well, I almost think that we just live another lifetime.
What if this is the moment?
That's what I'm saying.
What if
It's
we're
like,
dead?
yeah, you can dissect a moment infinite times. So like, if it takes your brain 7 seconds to die, which I've heard somewhere, like in that 7 seconds, you can live infinite lifetimes and die infinite amounts of times. So it's like whatever you believe to be the case. If you believe in heaven, you might go to heaven. If you believe in reincarnation, you'll come right back here and live another simulated lifetime in your brain. If you believe in hell, you're going to hell. If you believe in nothingness, you probably there'll be nothing.
Yeah.
And that's the only way to probably end the game. But
Do you think this is a simulation?
I don't know about that.
Think we're
But
living
this
in
is
a
why I wanted to
simulation?
talk about the Fibonacci sequence in A Strange Brew.
Fibonacci sequence?
Yeah, the Fibonacci sequence, like that fucked up my view of reality.
Was he the bicycle thief?
No,
Sounds like one.
no, this is an old. The Fibonacci sequence is just zero. Like it's you start with 0 and you add the next 2 numbers, so it's 0. So if it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that's how you count up to 10. You take the first 2 numbers, 0 and 1, add them together. So 0 and 1 is 1, and then you take the last number of the first equation and the answer to the equation, and you add it again. So 0 and 1 is 1, 1 and 1 is 2, 1 and 2 is 3, 2 and 3 is 5.
Yeah.
And those numbers are all Fibonacci sequence numbers, and when you plot those, when you plot them on a graph, they create a spiral that is found in nature, in the smallest, in the code of our being, in the code of everything. And if you expand them to like our galaxy can be plotted in a Fibonacci sequence type graph. If you play them on an instrument, they make beautiful music. Like the Fibonacci sequence runs through almost everything. As no matter how small you go, no matter how big you go, and it's really insane, the Fibonacci sequence, and it's worth looking. It's worth looking into if you want to like potentially think that we're in a matrix type situation. So
Okay, well, a lot of strange brew ideas coming up here, Robin. We're gonna get some more out there soon. We're gonna talk about movies and things and
I just want to apologize to the listeners because I wish I was being more funny, but I'm not. I'm being like just talking about stupid random shit.
No, I think it was good.
I'm sure it was fine, but I'm just saying like I just feel like whatever. It is what it is.
That's right. Speaking of that, we drank Fruitsmack Blood Orange Creamsicle from Lupulin Brewing in Big Lake, Minnesota. Rob, what do you think about it?
It's a little bit bitter for me, but I do like it. It's still like it's bitter that I can handle.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. I think it went down smooth. I like the bitterness,
I don't know if it's
though.
bitter as much sour. Maybe it's a little sour.
No, it's got a bitter kick to it, but it's not horrible. I thought it was pretty good.
No, it's good though.
Nice and creamy, delicious stuff. So drink it or dump it.
Drink it.
Drink it. Rob, always great to have you back.
Always great to be here. I missed it. I missed you.
Yeah, I
missed this microphone.
Yeah, it's in your hand, in your face.
Do we want to mention the dark side thing? Are we going to try and do that?
We're gonna try to do the Wizard of Oz Dark Side of the Moon thing.
Yeah, so it's Dark Side. If you YouTube Dark Side of Oz or Dark Side of the Rainbow, I found Dark Side of Oz, and I watched it recently again.
Okay.
Where it's actually somebody actually synced it up like and recorded it, as opposed to trying to watch The Wizard of Oz synced up with Dark Side of the Moon and doing it yourself, which can
by Pink Floyd.
Yeah, but it's really is pretty crazy. And Drew's going to try and watch it, and we're going to try and talk about it. So if you want to watch it before we talk about it, I would recommend it. Google or YouTube Dark Side of Oz, and you'll find it.
You can follow us on Twitter at Dudes on a Porch, Instagram, Dudes with Brews Pod, on Untapped, Dudes with Brews, things like that. You can buy Dudes with Brews masks at TeePublic. Just search Dudes with Brews on a Porch in the little search thingy majig, and
or you can follow us
in there.
Just come to Wisconsin and follow us, but you can't keep us.
You can't keep us, and you can follow us, but we'll hide.
Pew pew audio. Goodbye, everyone.